The assist stat in football is an unusual one in many respects. Whilst it is obviously an accurate barometer of how many times a player has played a pass that directly led to a goal, it is often used as a substitute or sort of creativity index, which probably gives it a greater weight than it deserves. Thiago Alcantara, as many subscribers to this channel will already know, didn't record a single assist for Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga last season, but only a fool would suggest that the Spaniard didn't have vision and creativity in droves. That's because Thiago tends to play the pass before the pass that sets up a goal, or assist the assister so to speak, which isn't a stat that is widely recorded, to the best of my knowledge at least. Indeed, the assist stat itself is a relatively recent phenomenon within the history of football. Whilst data on goal scoring has been gathered since just about the dawn of the Football League, you only start seeing collated assist data from the mid to late 1980s onwards, and only really solid data during the 21st century. With that being the case, it makes sense to look at the players with the most assists since the year 2000. The data for this video was taken from the website Transfermarkt, who published a list of top assist makers last season, although it has been adjusted by me to take into account any additional assists made by players over the last few months. Here are the 7 footballers with the most assists since the year 2000. Thomas Muller, 231. The only change to the top 7 since Transfermarkt published their data back at the start of the summer, Thomas Muller, has started this season rather like he finished the last one. It's worth noting that the man Thomas Muller dislodged to make the top 7, who had a career total of 230 assists, is Barcelona legend Xavi Hernandez. Now, you could still argue that given the positions in which Xavi tended to occupy in comparison to Muller, who tends to be much more advanced, that Xavi's record is still the more impressive. But while Xavi is quite rightly held as one of the finest players of a generation, it just goes to show how unappreciated and oftentimes underrated Thomas Muller has been for much of his playing days. Whether Muller deserves to be considered one of the best footballers of his generation is up for debate, but there can be no argument that he has been one of the most effective, and also among the most interesting. Muller has essentially pioneered a new position for himself entirely, which he coined the Raumdeuter, literally meaning space investigator or space interpreter, and it has proved to be highly effective for him in terms of his goal scoring and assist making returns. Whilst there were some who wrote Muller off only a few seasons back, his assist numbers never really dropped off, even when his goal scoring did. Even during his often criticised 2016-17 campaign, in which he only scored 5 goals, Muller still registered 14 assists in the Bundesliga and almost 20 in all competitions. Nevertheless, last season was still special, even by the Germans' high standards, as he recorded a stunning 21 Bundesliga assists and 26 in all competitions. That's the type of return that we have come to expect from Kevin De Bruyne, who will comfortably make this 7 within only a couple of seasons' time, and Muller already has 4 assists from 4 league outings so far this term. Cesc Fabregas, 234. Soon to be overtaken by Thomas Muller, but still ahead of him for now, Cesc Fabregas' creativity is the stuff of legend. What's perhaps most impressive about Fabregas is that he often combined the roles of Thiago, as mentioned in the introduction, who often provided the assist for the assister, whilst also recording De Bruyne-esque numbers in terms of assists as well. Fabregas' tally of 111 Premier League assists puts him second only to Ryan Giggs in terms of assists in England's top flight since 1992, ahead of players like Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard, who played far more games. In total, Fabregas has recorded 203 assists in 695 games at club level, in addition to 31 assists from 110 caps for Spain. Combine his goals and assists at club and international level, and Fabregas has 356 goal contributions in 810 games from midfield, which is quite something. The Spaniard's most productive season in terms of assists was the 2007-08 campaign, when he was aged only 21, in which Fabregas recorded 20 assists in the Premier League alone. He almost matched that tally upon his return to English football in 2014-15, when his 19 Premier League assists helped Chelsea to the league title, and the 33-year-old should still add a few more to his overall tally in Ligue 1 with Monaco. Angel Di Maria, 237. I have often repeated this stat on this channel that during his sole season in the Premier League, only Cesc Fabregas and Santi Cazorla recorded more assists than Angel Di Maria, which sort of dispels the myth that he was a complete flop at Old Trafford. Di Maria hit double figures for league assists that season, which is something that he has managed to do an incredible 9 times across the course of his career. During his first season at Real Madrid, which was a decade ago now, Di Maria recorded a stupendous 26 assists in all competitions, which is the same as Thomas Muller last season, and also included 7 assists in just 8 games for Real Madrid as they were crowned champions of the Copa del Rey. That remains a career best for the Argentine, although he almost eclipsed it during his first season at PSG, when he notched 25 assists in all competitions, in addition to 15 goals across the course of a mightily impressive campaign all round. Di Maria is 32 now, but his creative powers show few signs of decline. Last season, he made 14 assists in just 26 league games, in addition to putting the ball on a plate for one of his teammates 7 times in just 9 appearances in the Champions League. Di Maria is, by almost any criteria, one of the most creative and productive wide players of the last 10 years, and by the time he hangs up his boots, it's quite possible that he could be in 2nd or 3rd place in this list. Mesut Ozil, 253. Nicknamed the Assist King, you don't have to know much about football to guess from that nickname that Mesut Ozil is quite good at assisting goals, and indeed he is. In fact, at his best, Ozil was one of the 2 most creative footballers on earth, and his assist numbers for a number of years were quite extraordinary. The great shame when it comes to Ozil, not just in terms of his number of assists, but when it comes to his broader gameplay and game time, has been his decline and reduced opportunities when he ought to have been in his prime years. Now aged 32, only 6 of Mesut Ozil's 253 career assists have come during the last 2.5 years. Indeed, if Ozil had maintained anything like his normal numbers over the last few years, he would comfortably occupy 2nd place in this 7 and would be the only player anywhere close to top spot. For 5 consecutive seasons, Ozil recorded 20 plus assists, which is just absolutely remarkable. In the 2009-10 season at Wolfsburg, Ozil made 29 assists. In the 2010-11 campaign, his first at Real Madrid, Ozil once again made 29 assists. The following season, he made 28 assists and then 24 assists in his final season in Madrid. Ozil continued to create goals for fun at Arsenal up until the last 2 to 3 years, when his struggles have been very well documented. Luis Suarez, 257. Throughout his career, Luis Suarez has been celebrated as one of the most talented, committed, and indeed deadly centre-forwards on earth, but he has been almost as prolific in terms of assists as he has been when it comes to goals. A greatly underestimated creative force, the number of assists Suarez has recorded is really rather stupendous. Across 616 games at club level, Suarez has made 236 assists, in addition to having made 21 assists from 115 caps for Uruguay. Picking out some of Suarez's most creative campaigns, we ought to start with his last full season at Ajax, in which the Uruguayan made a tremendous 24 assists and scored 49 goals in exactly 48 games. Then there was Suarez's last season at Liverpool, in which he made 17 assists and scored 31 goals in just 33 games in the Premier League alone. His most impressive season though, and undoubtedly one of the finest seasons a footballer has ever enjoyed, was his 2015-16 campaign at Barcelona. In 53 games for the Catalan Giants, Suarez set up 24 goals for his teammates and scored 59 himself, resulting in an overall tally of 77 goal contributions in 53 games. It shouldn't come as any great surprise that Suarez makes this 7 then, and given his explosive start to life with Atletico Madrid, where he has made 4 goal contributions in just 4 games, and the fact that he is still aged only 33, Suarez still seems to have plenty of bite about him, and there could be plenty of goals and assists still to come. Cristiano Ronaldo, 258. A solitary assist ahead of Luis Suarez in 3rd place, it would be an interesting quandary to try and guess which of the 2 players will retire with the most assists to their name. Suarez is a couple of years younger than Ronaldo and recorded slightly more assists than the 5-time Ballon d'Or winner last season, but given Ronaldo's remarkable longevity, you wouldn't bet against him still competing at the highest level for even longer than Suarez. One thing that's perhaps worth noting when it comes to Ronaldo is that he has become more predatory in recent years, so if anything is going to drop off, it's more likely to be his assists than his goals. Ronaldo has only actually had 2 20-plus assist seasons, which is the fewest of any player in this 7, but what puts him all the way up in 2nd is his consistency and longevity at the very highest level. The first of those 2 seasons was the 2006-07 campaign at Manchester United, in which Ronaldo made 21 assists in all competitions, in addition to scoring 23 goals. In the years that followed, the goal-scoring numbers absolutely skyrocketed, but the assists stayed either similar or typically just a little lower. The exception to that rule was the 2014-15 season, which was the best season of Ronaldo's career. He made a mightily impressive 23 assists and scored 61 goals in only 54 appearances, giving him even more overall goal contributions than Suarez in that famous 15-16 campaign. In total, 223 of Ronaldo's assists have come at club level, meanwhile 35 have come whilst the 35-year-old has been on international duty. Lionel Messi, 321. Only 27 assists separate Thomas Muller in 7th place and Cristiano Ronaldo in 2nd, yet 63 assists separate Ronaldo and Messi in 2nd and 1st place alone. That really drums home quite how ridiculous Lionel Messi's record is in terms of assists, especially when you consider how brilliant all of the other players in this 7 have been in terms of creating goals, along with the fact that he is 2 years younger than his next closest competitor in the form of Ronaldo. Messi has had too many, quite frankly, stupid seasons in terms of both goals and assists for me to discuss all of them in depth, but I'll take a quick look at just 3 that stand out, to me at least. During Messi's record-breaking 2011-12 season, the little magician made 33 assists and scored 73 goals in 60 games. All of those numbers are accurate, yet somehow they still seem wrong. That's 106 goal contributions in 60 games, or 1.7 goals or assists per game. We may never see the like of it again. Messi once again hit the unfathomable figure of 30 assists in the 2014-15 season, in addition to scoring 58 goals in only 57 games. The last season, it is worth mentioning, is probably Messi's most recent at the Camp Nou, since it was probably his most derided, in which he made 26 assists in 44 outings, the joint most of any player in Europe. Of Messi's 321 assists, 279 have come at club level and 42 have come on international duty with Argentina. As mentioned in the intro, assist stats have only really been properly recorded for the last 25 to 30 years, but if they had been recorded throughout all of history, it would be interesting to see where Messi would come. My suspicion is that he'd be right up there, either first or second to Stanley Matthews, but that's just speculation on my part, since we'll never know. One thing I should add when it comes to Messi is that he is by no means done, and that of all of our top 7, he is also the one who's most likely to add the most assists before he hangs up his boots. So that is it for another splendid HITC Sevens video, if I do say so myself. If you enjoyed it, feel free to hit that like button, since that's how I know which of these kind of videos you all enjoy, and how YouTube determines whether a channel is any good. Let us know your thoughts down below in the comments, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for HITC Sevens, and you can find me on those familiar social media platforms of Twitter and Instagram via the username @HITC Sevens, should you wish to do so.